welcome to my channel. I'm Jess, and this is Canyon Oracle, a place where we use divination tools like tarot and oracle cards to inspire healing and transformation in the lives of truth seekers just like you. Today we're going to be answering the question, what should I focus on during this time? You know, the world is so chaotic right now. Many of us don't know what's going to be happening from one moment to the next. A lot of us are quarantined inside of our homes, and many of us are not even working right now. So I know that we have a lot of extra time on our hands, and whether it is that you're interested in maybe creating something new, like a new project, a new business, a new piece of art, studying something, or working on relationships, I imagine you find yourself at this video today because you're wondering how your time can be best used and what it is that you should be focusing on. Well, we're going to get direct messages from your higher self today about that very thing. Before we dive into this pick a card reading, I just want to remind you that you are the architect of your own life. So you always have free will and you can always make a new choice. But we're going to be looking at sort of a snapshot of the energies that are prevalent right now in your life, and how it is that you can best use those energies to navigate this time. So also remember, this is a general reading. So some aspects of the reading may not apply to you, or you may pick a pile and it doesn't feel like it resonates with you or your story or your ideas in any way. Please don't ever try to make it fit. Just leave the pile, maybe move on to another pile, or even move on to another pick a card video. There are so many great ones out there that I've actually loved watching myself. And part of the reason why I really love watching pick a card videos is because it invites the viewer to use their own intuition, to tap into that own internal guidance system. And if that's something that you find interesting as well and you'd like to explore that more, I've actually created a really powerful meditation that can support you in doing just that. It's called the Inward Journey Meditation. And I would love to gift it to you. You can actually find that at canyonoracle.com/YT. That's also in the description box below. There's other things in the description box, like a link about my work. I do one-on-one live intuitive coaching sessions where I use divination tools to really get to the root of what it is that's stopping you, how to move forward, etc. And I have a really great discount going on right now, so you can find out about that in the description box below. You can also find out about the cards that I'm using. Also, please come meet me on Instagram if you're there, because I do daily oracle readings in my Instagram stories, which are really neat. I think that's it for now. If you have any other questions and you don't find the answer in the description box, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment. I promise I will get back to you. Okay, so without further ado, we have 4 piles to choose from today. So I just invite you to take a moment to really ground yourself in your body and hold your question in your mind's eye. You know, ask yourself the question, what should I focus on? And then choose a pile that most resonates with you. So we have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Okay, just take a moment. You can even pause this video if you'd like. And once you've made your choice, I'll see you on the other side. You can find your timestamp in the description box below. Okay. Hi, Group 1. Welcome to your reading. Okay, so we're going to be using a variety of different cards today, both non-traditional tarot and some oracle cards. We'll look at them one by one and then see the story that wants to unfold. Okay, so the question is, what should you be focusing on right now? The first card that we got for you is the 4 of Cups, and in this deck it's anger. The next card that we got is the Ace of Cups, and in this deck it's ecstasy. The next card that we got is the Seven of Wands, and in this deck it's dullness, or the Seven of Crystals represented here. Okay, then we have the second chakra card for you. And we have the card of serendipity. Beautiful. And then we have a final message from your higher self, which is the card of challenges. Okay, so it seems to me like the focus has something to do with relationships or creativity. So the second chakra has both this energy, this sexual energy, or that energy that we have between two people, intimacy, connection. It's also the same energy that creates things. So it's like this creative life force energy. You know, it's like the same thing that births a baby can birth a creative project. So that's for sure what we want to focus on for you. And just apply it to your life situation and whatever resonates for you. So with the Four of Cups being your first card, and normally that is a card about not sort of appreciating the gifts that are being offered to you. Also, it can be about apathy or despondency. And in this deck is anger, which I feel is a higher vibration actually than apathy, because I was just thinking dullness, and interestingly enough, you got the Seven of Swords, and in this deck it's dullness. So it's like, it feels like there is this ecstasy that is available to you, and yet you are not recognizing it for some reason, because there's a lot of anger and dullness, which to me represents apathy. And the Seven of Swords traditionally for me is often about self-denial. So the Four of Cups can also be about that. So here we have in the center the Ace of Cups, which is the beginning of love or passion, or the beginning of something that you're passionate about. And it's often about a gift from the gods, like it's literally being handed to you. And in this deck, it's ecstasy. Like, it doesn't get any better. It is this blissful, emotional experience that's available to you. And for whatever reason, there's anger and dullness represented here, like a sandwich between this ecstasy. Like there's two, it feels like this self-denial or this lack of recognition is closing in on this potential ecstasy that you have. Now we got this card of serendipity too, which is really all about synchronicities. Like, in other words, meaningful moments that happen in your life that are here to show you something, to show you the way. So what's interesting about that is you're at this reading because you're wanting insight about what you should focus on. Well, getting the card of serendipity to me means that you've been getting a lot of messages about what you should be focusing on, and you are not recognizing them or paying attention to them or wanting to. I wish you could see the Four of Cups in a traditional tarot deck, because it's like there's three cups in the front of this guy who's sitting underneath a tree, who looks really like bummed out. And then there's this hand coming out of a cloud, like a message from an angel that's being given to him. And he's like, meh, I don't want it. That's the feeling that I'm getting here. It's like there's all this creative potential life force, sexual energy that is being presented to you, and you are not seeing it. And maybe that's because what we're all going through right now. So maybe my sense is there's something actually really beautiful in your life. My sense is it is a relationship. Also, like I said a million times, it can be a creative project. So it's one or the other. But there's something in your life that you feel passionate about, and it's probably something new. And maybe it started right before this whole coronavirus thing, and we all went inside. And so that has changed things for you, and it's shifted your focus now to your restrictions and what it is that you're dealing with, which totally makes sense. But the cards are saying very clearly, you want to shift your attention back to that thing that brought you ecstasy, that relationship, that creative project, whatever it is, that idea, or even it could be something that you're studying, but it's something that brings a lot of emotional fulfillment, literally ecstasy. It's the thing that will pass the time for you. So whatever that is that's popping into your head right now, that's it. Whatever it is that, I'm sure you've probably heard that old axiom that's like, do what you love and the money will follow. That's what I'm feeling about this. There's something that's like, you want to feel good. So whatever it is that makes you feel good, that's what you should be focusing on. I know that seems overly simplistic, but it is what is being represented here. And for some reason, you're not allowing yourself to recognize that potential ecstatic experience that you could be having. So I think that you found yourself at this reading today to give you confirmation that it's okay for you to just focus on what feels good right now. That person, that project, so if you're in your head about, I should be trying to make money right now, or I should be trying to figure this out right now, the cards are saying that's actually not what you should be doing. What you should be doing is focusing on what feels good. So the other issues will work themselves out or they won't, right? But you do have extra time on your hands, and there is this potential to create something, create a relationship, create that project that you love. I think what's so beautiful about what it is that we're all dealing with right now, the hard thing is obviously that we're forced into it, but the potential beautiful thing about it is that we have the time now to really examine what it is that makes us happy, what it is that we are here to do, or what is life about? What is life really about for you? What are the things that you feel passionate about? What are the things that you're really drawn to? And maybe you've had an experience of life that has been dull and challenging, and it's time that you start to follow what it is that feels good, because now you literally have time to do it. And I know that you know what that is because you have been getting signs. The universe has been giving you signs. So this is your message that it's okay to do that thing. This is your confirmation. It's okay to spend time with that person, to follow that passion, to start that creative project that's going to make you feel good, because it's going to bring you to new places. It's like Joseph Campbell always said, follow your bliss, because your bliss is your higher self speaking to you about where to go next. Always. Pain definitely pushes us, but bliss pulls us. And you want to start to allow yourself to be pulled by things, pulled by your passions, pulled by your desires, pulled by your joy, your bliss, your ecstasy. Now is the time to do it. Moment by moment by moment. It doesn't all have to be figured out now. You don't have to write your great magnum opus in the next, 20 days. But you can take small steps toward this ecstatic feeling. You can even take 5 minutes a day on it. Your higher self is giving you permission to do so and asking you to do so. So let's now look at this card of challenges for you. It says, unbearable situations throw you directly into God's arms if you are open. Beautiful. Please take over, Divine, and guide the right actions. Please take this burden and show me your will. So, there have been some real hard things that you have been going through. And of course, it's going to draw your attention. But that feeling of ecstasy, that is where God is. Now, God is everywhere, obviously, too. And what I mean by where God is, that is the whispers from the divine. That ecstatic feeling that you have every once in a while doing that one thing, being with that one person, that is spirit, God, the universe, divine, whatever you call it, that life force energy is whispering to you, come here, come here. This is where you need to be right now. So give yourself permission to follow that ecstasy and see where it takes you. Okay, group 1, this was your reading. I hope that it brought you some insight and some peace of mind. I would love to hear what you think. Again, don't forget to meet me on Instagram if you're on Instagram at Canyon Oracle, where I do daily oracle readings in my stories. If you liked the video too, a thumbs up would be amazing. As you can see, I'm just starting this channel, so that would be awesome. Maybe even subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing pick a card readings every Sunday and maybe twice a week. So thank you so much for your time and attention. I send you so much love and light. Until next time, be well. Hi, group 2. Welcome to your reading. So we're going to be using a variety of different cards today, some non-traditional tarot cards, some oracle cards. We're going to look at each card and then see the larger story that wants to be told. So what should you be focusing on? The first card that we got for you is the Two of Pentacles in a traditional tarot deck. And in this deck, it's the Two of Worlds and Reflection. Interesting. Then we have the Ten of Crystals, which is the Ten of Swords in a traditional tarot deck, and it's the card of delusion. Then we have the Woman of Worlds, or the Preserver, in this deck. And in the traditional tarot, it is the Queen of Pentacles. Then we have the Fifth Chakra. Interesting. Then we have Orphaned. And then we'll read the last card from your higher self, the card of True Offering, at the end. Okay. So what should you be focusing on? So it feels like this is about your self-expression in the world. So the fifth chakra is right here, right at your voice. What it is that you have to say, how you articulate your experience of life. How do you describe your experience to other people? How do you express your emotions? How do you create things? And because we got the Queen of Pentacles, Pentacles is all about the material realm. So it is about health, about finances. Now, this could be about health too. But no, it feels more like it is about your finances right now. And what it is that you can create or... Yeah, it feels like you have something to say. You have something to say about the work that you do. Like there is something, you have a different perspective of something, a different perspective than most other people have in your industry, and it has you feeling like really alone. And oftentimes when that happens, it shuts us down. So, maybe that's why you have the card of the Ten of Swords. This is a feeling of getting stabbed in the back. So, maybe too, this could be about a relationship situation or a work situation, but somewhere you have been shut down in some way. So now you're not wanting to express yourself. And it's making you feel really alone. And you may be physically alone right now too, and really isolated from the world, because many of us are. And it's causing a lot of delusions and a lot of mental unrest. A lot is going on in your mind about your experience of being alone and not being able to speak up. Now, this is interesting because this is the card, the Two of Pentacles, can be about working together, juggling a lot of things in your life. Can also be about making ends meet financially. And in this deck, it is the card of reflection. And I'm noticing how blue, we have so much blue for you. There's so much that wants to be expressed. So much that wants to be expressed in your life. And whatever that means to you, that's what you should be focusing on. So if that means inside of a relationship, you need to start speaking up for yourself, or if that means inside of a work environment, there are things that you want to contribute that right now you're not. It's time that you start to say what you have to say. Because it has value. There is a reason why you have the perspective that you have, and only you can have it. So when you shut that self-expression down, the world doesn't get that perspective. And it comes straight from your higher self, from the divine. It is a message from God in a lot of ways, your self-expression. So it's kind of like you're shutting down the divine within you and saying, you know what? That doesn't really matter. That doesn't have value. I'm not going to share that with the world. Forget it. It's like an insult to your higher self in a way, because it does matter. It does have value. It's unique to you, and the world needs it. I'm noticing this on this Queen of Pentacles card, and I chose this deck for a reason because I knew that it would have something to say specifically to you. She's pregnant. Now, this is very much like a mother archetype, this Queen of Pentacles, but I'm noticing how she's pregnant, and she really looks like she is 9 months, ready to give birth, right? So it feels like there is something in you that is dying to be birthed. It's like you are 9 months, the clock is ticking, and you're like, get this baby out of me already. And it's causing, a lot of mental chatter. And it's good to reflect, absolutely, but you want to move that energy out of you and into the world so that you can walk away from this feeling, or, move through this feeling, rather, of being all alone in the world. This is a card of this is like an ugly duckling card. I don't know if you can see, but she's got a little beak on her nose, and she's like this beautiful ballerina, and she feels ugly and alone. That's what my sense of you is. It's like you feel like you're all alone or isolated, or you feel like you don't have a voice, or you feel like people wouldn't be interested in what you have to say. But that's not true. You have this beautiful creation that wants to be birthed and wants to be expressed. And there's just a lot of potential. I'm feeling this like vastness of this self-expression. So it may be just something very small that you have to say. But I feel like it will lead you on to all new endeavors, all new adventures in your life by just starting to speak up. Like it feels like if you had a breakthrough, because here's the deal. We're at the 10 here, right? This is the 10 of swords. The beautiful thing about the 10 of swords is it's kind of like a dark night of the soul moment where you're literally like brought down to your knees and you kind of can't go any further down. But the beautiful part about that is there's nowhere to go but up. And it really has you start to assess what is important in your life and what you want to give your energy and attention to and what you believe in and who you are. Like, this is where you're at right now. And this is a pivotal time for you to really reflect on who you are, what you have to say, and then get into action around it and really speak up for yourself. And as you do, things will begin to shift and change for you. I'm sure of it. Now let's see what this card has to say for you. So it's a card of true offering, and it says, may I release the fears, illusions, and addictions that keep me from true offering. May I relax into your plan, trusting that the next steps will always be shown. Use me, love. Use me for the highest. I am yours alone. So there have been a lot of fears that have kept you with your head down and alone. And it's time that you surrender yourself to who you really are. And that you're not this ugly duckling, that you're this beautiful swan that has a lot to say and a lot to share with the world. And your voice matters, and your gifts matter, and your opinions matter. And this is your message to speak up. This is your message to express yourself fully. And not just, I think too, the larger message here for you is this is about you and your own authenticity as a human being. So it feels like, yeah, this is a specific message about work maybe, or relationship, and expressing yourself inside of those dynamics. It also just feels like who you are kind of as a person in the world, and that you really have so much more underneath the surface, and it feels like it's been hidden for a long time. And maybe now it's time, with the state of the world as it is, right? We're all being asked to shift our attention inward and reflect and, figure out who we are and what we want. So I think it's time that you allow your authentic light to shine. Maybe you're a little bit unique. Maybe you're a little bit interesting. Maybe you're a little bit more creative than you've given yourself permission to be. And now is the time to be unique, because the world needs unique vision right now. Absolutely. And it's an offering. What I love about this card is it's an offering to the world. Your unique perspective, your authentic self-expression is a true offering. And I love how it's true. Like, there's a reason for that. that it's not just about what you think people want to hear from you, or what you think is the right thing to say, or the right thing to do, or the right thing to be. No, we want your truth. That's what the world wants. What is your true offering? Your authentic self-expression. That is what you should be focusing on, without a doubt. Okay, group 2, that was your reading. I hope that it brought you some clarity and some peace and some insight. I would love to hear what it was like for you in the comments below. If you liked this video, a thumbs up would be amazing. I just started this channel and more eyes on it would be incredible. Also subscribe to the channel if you'd like, because I'm going to be doing a pick a card reading every Sunday, if not more. And if you're on Instagram, I'm at Canyon Oracle, and I'm doing daily oracle readings on my Instagram stories. So that might be interesting for you. I thank you so much for your time and attention. I send you so much love and light. And until next time, be well. Hi, group 3. Welcome to your reading. Okay, we're going to be using a variety of different cards today, some non-traditional tarot cards, some oracle cards. We'll look at each card and then we'll really see the story that wants to be told, okay? So what should you be focusing on? The first card that we got for you is the 9 of Swords in the traditional tarot deck, and in this deck, it's 9 of Crystals and Narrowness. Then we got the Sage of Worlds, or the Master card. And in traditional tarot decks, this is the Page of Pentacles. Interesting. Then we got the Justice card in the traditional tarot. In this deck, it's the card of Balance. Then we got a woman holding a coin. And then we got the Higher Power card. Wow. And then the last card that we got for you is Perfectionism, which we'll read at the end for you. Okay. So the first thing that I'm really noticing about this reading is in this card of Balance, there is this diamond, it looks like. And it's interesting because the scales, so to speak, in this card, it's a little bit different. But the scales are balancing on this diamond. So it feels like there is this gift inside of you. And your life is balanced on it in some way. Like it's a lot of there's a lot of weight that is being placed on this one thing in your life. And it's making me feel like maybe that's what's it's out of balance in some way. It's making you out of balance, like you are so focused on something that you're losing your perspective on what else is going on in your life. Yeah, because we got the card of Narrowness too, and this is the 9 of Swords. So this card is really about anxiety in a lot of ways. This can be a card about insomnia and, worries and fears and, just up all night, totally freaked out about something. Then we have the Page of Pentacles, and this is the Master card in this deck. And this is about, traditionally the Page of Pentacles is about beginning some form of study or some form of practice or teaching in a way, learning. It can be the card of an apprenticeship. Interesting, in this deck, it's the Master card. So there is something about teaching or learning that's definitely involved in this reading. Then we have the woman holding the coin. So this is clearly about money and work. And the Higher Power card. So maybe you are definitely you're getting messages from your higher self that you may not be hearing or listening to. Also, my sense is that somehow your work is related to your intuition, or could be related to your intuition in some way, and that maybe both of those things are blocked right now. So if you have been thinking about being a light worker or a psychic or reading tarot or whatever, this is what it feels like you are being asked to study and focus your time on. Or if somehow your work, maybe you're not in the sort of, intuitive arts, but your work is somehow related to your intuition, and it's important that you focus on your intuition. That's what it feels like. You're supposed to be focusing on your intuition and not so much whatever this one thing is in your life that you give all your time to, which may be your work right now, that you are probably a master at, but there's something else. It feels like there's something else that wants to pull your attention that maybe you're not as good at. Maybe you're really, really wonderful. That's what it feels like. You're really, really good at this one thing. And that is where your attention has been for some time, maybe for most of your adult life. But now you're being asked to go somewhere else where you don't feel as confident. And I feel like that's what the cards are asking of you. I feel like your higher self is asking you to actually go to that other place that maybe feels a little bit scarier to you, that place that is maybe new or uncomfortable or awkward, or you're not so sure of yourself over there. Because then we got the card of perfectionism, and it says, permission to make mistakes is so freeing. Isn't that true? It's the root of creativity and change. Allow me, divine, to make as many mistakes as I need. Free me from the prison of perfectionism. So absolutely, that's what's going on here. So there's something, you're really awesome at something, and maybe you're actually really awesome at a lot of things. And whatever it is that's calling you right now, it's making you really uncomfortable because you're not as good at it. But I venture to say that the reason you're not as good at it is because it's new. So it feels scary to you and you have all this anxiety about it. But the reality is, we all have to start somewhere. I love that saying, use what you have, do what you can, start where you are. Like, that's it, And what's so great about this time right now is we're all being pulled out of our normal routines. We're getting pulled out of our comfort zone all over the place. So we're all being asked to do new things right now. And we're all feeling this energy of awkwardness, and we're unsure and we're anxious and all of this stuff. So if there were ever a time for you to make mistakes, my dear, it's right now, because we're all going to be making mistakes. And the truth is, you don't grow unless you do make mistakes, right? And we all came here for a reason. You came here for a reason. And if your soul is asking you to start something new, there's a deeper reason for that. Maybe the world needs whatever that is right now for a reason. And maybe all of that other stuff that you're really great at will contribute to this new thing, because you did get this Justice card. I mean, it is like things are going to balance out in the end for you. And maybe, you can focus all of the things that you've ever learned actually into this new thing, but you just can't see how that all fits together right now. So it's like, oh my gosh, well, now I'm going to go focus on this other thing. Like, my whole life, I've been making this beautiful diamond, and now I'm supposed to go do this other thing that, like, oh my God, I'm not good at, I'm going to fail at, whatever. Just allow yourself to take one little step. It might be a messy step. It might not be too cute, but that's okay. We all give you permission to make a mess. And then the next time you do it, it might look a little bit nicer. And then the next time a little bit nicer, and so on, right? And that's how we do it. That's how we grow in life. That's how we evolve in life. Imagine if a little kid was like trying to learn how to walk and they fell down and then they're like, you know what? I'm so awkward at this. Like, there's no way that I'm going to keep walking. Like, I'm just going to keep crawling because you know what? I'm super good at crawling. How silly is that? Right? Like, okay, first you crawl and then all of a sudden you have the impulse to walk. Well, you're going to be clumsy at that, but you walk. And then one day you have the impulse to climb and then you're like, whoa, I'm going to climb. That's really scary. What if I fall? You probably will fall, but then you'll climb. Then you'll have a new perspective where you're in a tree and you're looking down at the world and you're like, oh my God, I made it to this tree. Now I see over there a whole new horizon. Now what do? Now I learn how to fly. Woo, that's a whole new set of problems, right? So that's what's going on right now. Your higher self is absolutely calling for you. This is divinely guided. This is divinely ordered. Whatever this impulse is, whatever that thing is that is new to you, that is straight from God. That is straight from the divine. That is straight from your higher self, the part of you that resides with the divine. And that part of you is asking you to be clumsy, to take whatever time you need, but to inch your way to this new experience, to this new idea, to this new skill, to this new craft. And it's all going to balance itself out in the end, even if it feels totally out of balance right now. And everyone's life is out of balance right now with the state of the world today, right? It's a good thing to get comfortable with the unknowns. It's a good thing to start to get comfortable with awkwardness. Because we're all going to have to find our way differently now. The world is changing. And I suspect it will continue to change no matter what happens with this coronavirus situation or whenever you're watching this video. I'm sure there's something in your life that's going on that's asking you to evolve, right? And it feels like the world is going to be changing very quickly now. So it's important to get good at moving through those imperfections because that's just what it is to be alive and to grow. And that's what you're here to do. I know you're at this video today because that's what you want for your life. You want to evolve. You want to grow. You want to transform. Well, guess what? That's sometimes terribly unattractive and awkward and riddled with mistakes. But if you keep moving and you keep going, you get the experience of more and more grace and more mastery. And then you get to experience those perfect moments from time to time in that new thing that you never thought, oh my gosh, look at me now. You know? So give yourself permission to connect with your higher self. Maybe start taking a moment every day, you know, for meditation and connection to your higher self. I actually have a really great meditation that I'm giving away for free. It's called Inward Journey, where you really go on a journey to your higher self and you get a message from your higher self. You can find that at canyonoracle.com/YT. It's in the description box below as well, if that's something that you're interested in. But yeah, this is a time of exploration for you. And I suspect that you know exactly what it is that you should be focusing on. So I'm giving you the permission to do that. Okay, group 3, this was your reading. I hope that it brought you some insight and some peace and some clarity. I would love to hear what it was like for you in the description box below. If you happen to be on Instagram, please come see me at Canyon Oracle. I'm doing daily oracle readings in my stories. And even give me a thumbs up if you like this video. I'm just starting this channel, so it would be amazing, all the help that I can get. If you want to subscribe, that would be even more amazing. I'm going to be doing pick a card readings every Sunday, and maybe even another time during the week. So thank you so much for your time and your attention. I really appreciate it. I send you so much love and light. And until next time, be well. Hi, Group 4. Welcome to your reading. Okay, we're going to be using a variety of different cards today, some non-traditional tarot cards, some oracle cards. We'll look at each card one by one, and then we'll really see the story that wants to be told. So what is it that you should be focusing on during this time? The first card that we got is the Three of Cups, and in this deck, it's love. Well, that seems clear. Then we got the card of the Three of Swords, which is interesting because in this deck, it's very differently represented than in a traditional tarot deck, but I used this deck for a reason. And this is the card of creativity in this deck. Then we got the card of the Seven of Cups, and in this deck, it's fear. So then we got the card of the Angel of Balance. Then we have peace. And the last card that we have is the card of Sanctuary. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. It's interesting, there's been a lot of similar vibes throughout the reading. So, I mean, collectively, we're all going through a lot together right now, right? The state of the world is totally in flux. We have no idea what's going to happen from one moment to the next, and we're all being asked to shift our attention in many ways. So it seems very clear that this is about, again, love or creativity. This is the second or maybe the third reading actually today that is about that. So I think we have a lot of artists and healers in our group here today. So when we're looking at the cups, it is about emotions, love, or creativity. And the Three of Cups in a traditional tarot card deck is really a card of celebration. It's like the goddesses. It's like three goddesses celebrating together. And I love that this is about love because there's no couples represented here. So, you know, it does feel like the love of a creative endeavor that you have of some kind. It could be about a person, it could be about a relationship, but it does feel like something that you love to do. It almost feels, I mean, I'm really noticing this, the vase here. It almost feels like it's something that you do with your hands, or it's like, gosh, she has a vase in her hand too. So I don't know if you make ceramics or you make things. It feels like you are an artist and you make things, and maybe that's not your profession, but it's something that you love to do, or you make pottery, or you make some sort of arts and crafts, or create something in the world that's tangible is what it feels like to me. But there's, the Three of Swords traditionally in a tarot deck is about heartbreak. And it's interesting that in this deck, it's about creativity. So it feels like the suffering of the art. Like, that's what it feels like. There's something around how scary it is to create, or like pouring your suffering into your creative endeavor in some way. Or it also can feel like, for you specifically, like maybe there was something that you did creatively earlier in your life and it caused some sort of a heartbreak, or you were heartbroken that you had to leave it, or it didn't make you the money that you wanted it to make, or something like that. And now it's time that you revisit that. And maybe it is just to heal that emotional, pain from your past, partly. And also, life is really cyclical. Like, I've been very present to lately this cyclical nature of life. And I think that a lot of times we think that we should be always evolving, which is an aspect of life for sure. But the evolutionary process is not linear, right? It is like this upward spiraling. So we often come back to the same things over and over and over again. So maybe it's an old relationship, maybe it's an old creative project, but it feels like something from your past is coming back again. And the cards are asking that you revisit it. Now, we also got the Seven of Cups for you, and the Seven of Cups is about, it can be about fantasy, it can be about options. In this deck, it's fear. So it's like you're afraid of all of these things that you could do, or all of this potential that you have, or all of this creative potential that you have is somehow scary to you. And again, maybe it has something to do with your past, because before it created chaos or upset or something, or you had to walk away from it and you said, I'm never going to go back there again. But I think that it's time that you go back to that creative part of yourself. And it may not be that thing. So let's say, for example, you used to make pottery when you were a kid, and now you're feeling inspired to like create again, but you don't have the equipment to make pottery, but you still want to create something with your hands. So you can do whatever it is in your space. You can find some sort of creative outlet to do with your hands or your mind or whatever, your voice, inside of your space where you are now. I've really noticed in my own life that my creative expression has changed so much over the years. Yeah, it's reminding me of this story of Michelangelo that was written about in The Agony and the Ecstasy. And it's like he was a sculptor his whole life. That was his craft. That's what he studied. And then, back in that time, it was like there was patrons, right? And you kind of had to do what your patron told you to do. Well, the Pope said, hey, Michelangelo, I want you to paint the Sistine Chapel. And he was like, I don't think so. I'm not a painter, I'm a sculptor. I've been sculpting my entire life. And the Pope was like, yeah, that's great, but guess what? I'm paying you, and you need to paint the Sistine Chapel. And he was not stoked about it, but he did it anyway. And guess what happened? We got the Sistine Chapel. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes life asks you to go places and use that same energy that you use to create other things in a new way. But it's the same creative energy. I hope that made sense. Okay. Then we got the card of balance. And it feels like whatever this love of creative project is for you will bring balance into your current circumstances. So whatever it is that you're going through right now feels probably very out of balance to you. We've been getting a lot of cards about balance lately. It's interesting. There's definitely a theme with this reading today. And that's why your higher self is asking you to bring your focus back to this creative endeavor, because it will help you feel balanced in this chaotic world that we're living in. Whatever your creative passions are, is a great place to focus your attention to bring more peace into your life. Yeah, so this creative project is going to bring you peace. I'm not telling you that it's going to bring you money. I don't see any cards of money here, to be totally honest with you, but I can tell you that it's going to make you feel good. And when you feel good, then whatever obstacles come your way, you feel more balanced about it. It doesn't sort of like, it's not as jarring, right? When you have something that you can hold on to and get excited about and really love, then everything else sort of becomes a lot lighter and a lot easier to deal with. So let's look at the Sanctuary card for you. So this is the card that we got. This is a message from your higher self, and it says, a sanctuary resides inside you no matter what is happening. This inner temple beckons you to enter, like a deep breath. Enter and sit down on the throne of your own heart. Wow. So whatever this creative project is for you, it is your sanctuary. It is the place where you will find peace, where you will find balance, where you'll find your own heart. Like, it's asking for you to go within, and there is this fertile energy. Gosh, I've been seeing this over and over again with readings. It's like, you see this egg here? This is the universe waiting to be birthed. It is life waiting to be birthed. And with it comes all of this potential. This creative project will bring you peace. It will bring you balance. No matter what is going on in the world outside, you will always have this space, this thing that you can make, that you can see, that you can hold on to, that will always bring you back to your own balance, to your own equilibrium, to your own self. Because there's nothing like connection to our higher self through a creative endeavor, So you get to see yourself reflected in this thing. You get to know yourself and be with yourself. And you may be alone right now in your house, like many of us. And what a great time to spend creating something. Not because it's going to make you money, because right now, there's not a lot of money to be made in many ways, right? We're all sort of on pause. So if it's not about money, then what is it about? And follow whatever that is, Focus on that. Focus on what you love to create in the world. Focus on what brings you peace, what makes you feel balanced and aligned, right? Like, I'm in alignment with who I am and what I should be doing. Time just goes so quickly, right? Those feelings that you have of, like you're in the flow of your own life. That's what you want to be focusing your attention on right now. Okay, group 4. So this was your reading. I hope that it brought you some insight and some clarity. I would love to hear what it was like for you in the comment section below. If you liked this video, a thumbs up would be amazing. Also, maybe subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing pick a card readings every Sunday and maybe another time during the week. If you're on Instagram, please come find me at Canyon Oracle. I do daily oracle readings on my Instagram stories. I thank you so much for your time and attention. I send you so much love and light. And until next time, be well.